Welcome to the first insight in the Emerging Leader podcast. So, my idea for insights is to bring you a really quick, short, snappy episode once a week that talks about a really key topic that I've learned about recently or something that really changed my life. So, I want to be able to bring that to you in these bite-sized pieces so that you can just listen while you're on the go or whatever, and then get right to applying it in your life.
The Emerging Leader Podcast.
So with that, the first insight of the week is a phenomenon called the region beta paradox. Now, this paradox is something that I heard about first a few weeks ago on the Modern Wisdom podcast, which I'm sure most of you have heard about it. It's an amazing, massive podcast. But anyways, region beta paradox, according to Wikipedia, is the phenomenon that people can sometimes recover more quickly from more distressing experiences than from less distressing ones. And another great definition from Medium as well that I think these two together really make a lot of sense is that the region beta paradox is a phenomenon whereby a person will remain in a state of mild discomfort and act only when the state changes to one of intense discomfort. So both of those together basically means that we're often not motivated to move ourselves into a better situation until the situation that we're in gets really, really bad. And the way that I heard this described on the Modern Wisdom podcast was that we'd actually be better off if things were worse, because that would force us to put ourselves into a better position. So this being said, this can happen in any area of our life. This could be in work, where your job isn't that bad, your boss isn't that bad, pay is okay, it's not great, you don't love it, but it's not awful. This could also be in a relationship. You're with the person that's quite comfortable for you, you like them, like you tell them you love them, but they're not great. Who knows? This could be in all areas of your life, including health and different things. So that being said, where in your life, and this is where it really kind of shook me, was where in my life am I in this zone where it's, things are not that bad. It's not great, but not bad, where I would actually be better off if things were worse so that I would push myself to do something better. And I guess the point of this and why I think it's so great to think about this concept is because ideally we should be looking to avoid having things be so bad that then we make the move. How do we motivate ourselves now to make the change that would actually result in a better outcome for us? So why would you wait in your job until your boss hits you with that performance plan, or they hit you with something that's just the straw that breaks the camel's back, or wait until your relationship is just completely in ruins? Or maybe it never actually gets to ruins, but you just stay in this average state forever. I've seen this happen with people's health, unfortunately, where they just kind of ignore things, and then suddenly they have a really terrible diagnosis or something goes completely wrong, and then they are pushed to change their life and motivate them. You see this all the time, right? Especially with people's health, where they have one really stark conversation with their doctor and then suddenly their life completely changes and it's that final straw for them. So I guess the question with this paradox is, how do you move yourself forward quicker? Where in your life are you sitting in this limbo period and knowing that the paradox states that you'll actually be better off if things were worse? How do we just push ourselves to get to that better position right away versus waiting for the pain to be so great that we run from that instead? I guess this is very similar to other concepts and experiments over the years, that people are more motivated to run away from things that they don't like versus motivated towards running towards things that they do. It's like the mouse that pulls harder when they smell a cat behind them versus cheese in front of them, or however the experiment actually went. So for us, I guess it's important to try and understand, how do we either, hopefully not realistically or in reality, create that cat behind us to push us, but how do we intrinsically motivate ourselves to move towards that next step quicker? And that's where region beta paradox comes in. Know that you will actually be better off if you push yourself forward now versus waiting until things get much worse, which could be ages away, and who knows. So with that, I'll leave you in our first insight. I really hope that you've enjoyed this super quick episode. Please let me know if these are helpful to you or if there are other topics that you can send my way. I would love to hear about these things and learn about them and just have my brain continue to crack open over these topics. Please follow and subscribe to where you're listening to the podcast if you haven't already. But with that, I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you on the next episode.
I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders that are listening to the podcast.